Okay, so this is the location of the AC evaporator line in the FJ Cruiser. And occasionally it can get clogged and basically, cause a leak on the inside or basically fill up in the evaporator core. But you have it where it actually goes into the evaporator core there. You have it where it makes a sharp kink there. And then you have it where it exits through to the firewall there. If it is full and you disconnect this from the evaporator core, you're going to end up with a lot of water inside this vehicle. And that could be bad because you can see, of course, you have felt lining underneath there, and that's just going to soak up all that moisture and hold it to the floorboard, which will basically cause mold, and eventually, if left there long enough, can cause rust. So one thing I did see is a guy online was talking about, he just happened to have a kink right here that caused enough of a choke point that he had built up in the line right there. So he had just simply lifted the hose up out of this, and that was enough to start allowing it to drain freely again. Of course, you can also get it on the outside of this as well. This is pretty high up in the engine bay though. But if you did have something that reached it, potentially you could get a clog on the outside there. Another person I saw had physically disconnected this line here, and again, just water pouring out. In his case, he had the liner removed, but still, it's something you want to be really cautious of, because the last thing you want is water all over the inside of the vehicle that would potentially cause mold or rust, or make a even bigger cleanup than you intended. If you do have to physically remove this, I would recommend having towels in here underneath it and having some type of container or receptacle. Personally, I'd probably want to remove the trim in here first, so that I could fold this floor liner all the way back and be back down to middle, where I didn't have the liner in there at all. So, but that is the side that goes into the evaporator core. Again, if you disconnect that and it is full, you're going to have it coming out like a little mini faucet. This is, from one gentleman that I saw online, was a potential choke point, which kind of makes sense because it could, I guess on his, maybe it was kinking it more. On mine, it's really not kinking it. And then, of course, you go out through there. Now, if you remove that hose, it's just it goes through a rubber grommet and it's straight to the outside. So it could be a little tricky to get it back to that rubber grommet and go to the outside. If anything, if you were to remove this, I would probably just like if you had a line clog in here, I would probably just use a little compressed air to blow through it to make sure it's exiting clearly before hooking everything back up. So that's about it.